Hi, my name is Anya, and welcome to my Luminosity Yoga series of videos. Every month, I'll guide you through a yoga practice to help you embody the energies of the current lunar cycle. And we are just in the lunar cycle, lunar month of Scorpio. So the new moon in Scorpio, alongside a south node solar eclipse, happened a few hours ago here in Berlin. That was on the 25th of October, 2022. It's Tuesday today, so very interesting because this is also Mars Day. Tuesday is the day of Mars, which is also more apparent in the French, for example, mardi, um, Mars's day. And Mars is the ancient ruler of the sign of Scorpio. The modern ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. So both of these archetypes or these planets related to that sign have to do with a certain amount of intensity, a kind of, depth, or also like a courage that is related to the sign. And so let me start off by saying a few things about Scorpio. So the idea, first of all, Scorpio is a water sign, which might not be apparent. However, it is fixed water because it is a sign that actually maintains, is in the middle of a season. Yeah, in this case, in the northern hemisphere, being autumn. You could say fixed water, or what I very much like, Christopher Renstrom, one of my favorite astrologers, described it also as hard water. So there is actually a kind of hard quality to the sign of Scorpio, which is deeply, deeply emotional and at the same time compassionate. But that might not become apparent because at the same time, it also has the ability to really put its finger on where it hurts and to conjure up the shadows, maybe to perceive the shadows in itself and in others, but also to have, it has the courage to actually face its demons. So Scorpio is related to, as I already mentioned, taboo subjects related to sexuality, hidden agendas, power struggles, be it in our personal lives or in politics, in the world. And there is also this tendency to possibly attract crisis or to attract people who are in crisis and to go with them through that crisis. There can be an intensity that might be related to obsession or kind of compulsive ideas, maybe destroying instead of removing parts of something that no longer works. So some of these ideas are related to the sign of Scorpio. And as we have a south node lunar eclipse, so that means the south node of the moon is at the moment is in the sign of Scorpio and has already gone through that. So the nodes of the moon, which is a pair of opposite signs, in this case, Scorpio and Taurus, they are always in that, in those opposite axes. We're working along this opposite axis of Taurus and Scorpio. And it's an evolutionary axis that helps us, or is supposed to help us grow. And if we look at this as a mundane transit, a transit that actually refers to the whole world, these topics, these are topics that we are going through on a mundane level, but of course also on a personal level. And depending on how these transits hit your own personal chart, it might be experienced as something very close to home, close to yourself, or more in the people around you, or in a particular area of your life. So these south and north node of the moon, they are points on the orbital plane of the moon around the Earth. And they are, as I said, evolutionary points in space that hold a lot of relevance and have been considered important for many thousands of years. Also in Jyotish, which is Ayurvedic, or like, let's say, yogic astrology, Hindu astrology, these are considered very important points. So a south node solar eclipse, what does that actually bring? With eclipses, it's a little bit like a moment where the lights go out and then things are different. And something is being eclipsed, like in this case, the sun, which was only visible from certain parts of the world. Amongst it were some parts of Eastern Europe, the Ukraine, India, and so at a particular point, the shadow of the moon actually covers either all of the sun or parts of the sun. As this solar eclipse was a partial solar eclipse that only covered a certain part of the sun, not all of it. And as I said, that was visible in certain parts of the world and probably spectacular. Feel free to look up the pictures online to get like a better feel maybe for, while ancient folks really also had a lot of respect and possibly fear of this phenomenon. So the idea of something leaving and then things being different is something we can work with in our own lives. So with regards to our own shadows, and Adam Summer, who is at the moment is an amazing astrologer, has a great website called Holds to Heaven and his own podcast, and I highly recommend that you check that out if you're more into the whole subject. So he suggested the idea of looking at the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves in our lives that may no longer be conducive for our growth, that might actually hinder us in moving and evolving. And to identify that kind of story that you would like to learn to tell in a different way. So many years ago at a dance festival, I remember we were dancing a dream, and then we did that twice. And in the second time we did that, we actually changed the ending. We were supposed to change the ending of the dream. So I guess that's like a similar thing, that you start to maybe retell the story in a different way. You find a different ending or a different kind of angle on how you want to tell the story. So these are a lot of ideas around this current new moon cycle in Scorpio. Other ideas were also that this particular new moon is also conjunct Venus. Venus in Scorpio going now through the underworld at this point. And Venus in Scorpio in general, again, is also very much related to these subjects of power struggles, everything related to Scorpio, taboo subjects, possibly also sexual abuse. It's Venus that might find it difficult to actually show its beauty and its light. And as it is, in a sense, also eclipsed for a moment. So that's another idea that you can go with, maybe yeah, what does that mean? All things Venus relating to your beauties and your values, something being taken away, and this is something you can also practice as maybe going for like a different expression of beauty or intensity in your own life, just to kind of try on embody this kind of eclipsed Venus. In terms of medical astrology and yoga astrology, Scorpio, as I said, is also is ruled by traditionally ruled by Mars. So that would relate to our navel chakra, to Manipura, to power. Yeah, again, power struggles. And on the medical astrology side, it's related to the pelvic area, so more the second chakra, which is about connection, relationship, relating to ourselves and others, more of the unconscious or subconscious realm, the realm of dreams. And it is like more desire or like drive, and like a bit further down, more what drives us possibly unconsciously. So all of these are things that you can work with now in the yoga practice, and I'd like you to pay attention and maybe choose either the Svadhisthana chakra, the second chakra from below, or the third chakra, navel chakra, Manipura chakra, to work with, to just bring your attention back there during the practice. As it's a Mars-orientated practice, could be done energetically, a certain amount of intensity or passion, and allowing for movement and also for self-discovery. So as an intention, you might want to set the idea of finding out what that story is that needs to be told in a different way. And yeah, so with all these ideas, I'd like to start with the yoga practice. So please come find a comfortable seated posture, and we won't sit for long, but make sure you are comfortable for a moment or two. And to find a way to connect with the ground underneath you. So really root your sitting bones down, close your eyes. Take a deep inhale, wherever you find tension in the body, breathe into it. And release it on your exhale. Do that again, deep inhale. Releasing it on your exhale. And once again, deep inhale. And exhale. And then just close your mouth and just let the in and exhale move through your nose. From your sitting bones and from your perineum, you can imagine roots growing down into the earth, or you can just feel the connection down. And then every inhale, just bring fresh energy up the spine, flooding your spine with energy coming all the way up to the crown of the head. And then very gently connecting you to the forces above. Slightly lower your chin, open your heart, lean into the back of your heart, and on your exhale, just whatever has become loose, just let that evaporate into the ground. And then just continue to in and exhale along the spine, drawing fresh energy up into the body on your inhale. And then releasing stress, tension, energies of others on your exhale. You can practice Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with it. Otherwise, just take some deep in and exhales through your nose. One more time with your eyes closed. And open your eyes. Inhale, bring your arms up. And then exhale, hands in front of your heart. And again, deep inhale, bringing your arms up. And then exhale, hands in front of your heart. One more time, deep inhale. And then an exhale. And really feel thumbs against your chest bone, palms pushing gently against or into each other. And we start with 3 rounds of take a deep exhale. And inhale. And then bow your head to your heart and set an intention for the practice for this new moon in Scorpio, with the idea of something old that you'd like to release in order to be able to grow more fully, to show up more fully with all of who you are, including your shadows. So you can, of course, set your own intention, bring that into the body with your breath. And rub your hands together. And then take a moment, cup your eyes with your palms, take some deep in and exhale. Let any stress or tension from the eyes, from the head dissipate into your hands. And then once again, just rub your hands. And then we're gonna move to the adrenaline on the back of the body. So they're also related to Mars and Scorpio as the Mars ruled sign. Adrenalines are very important, not to overexhaust our kidneys. So just draw a line from your navel around you. Above that line are the kidneys, and the adrenalines a bit higher up. So just give them a good rub. You can make fists, just breathe into them, just acknowledging them for a moment. And then place your hands in a downward pointing triangle onto your pelvic area, where your Svadhisthana chakra is. And take a few deep in and exhales into the bowl of your pelvis. Open your eyes and just grab your front shin, whichever that may be. And we're going to tilt the pelvis forward and backward, just rolling over sitting bones. We're going to inhale as we tilt the pelvis forward and exhale as we tilt it backwards. And we're going to do that quite fast with a breath of fire. If you are on your cycle or you're pregnant, please don't do that. Just breathe now. Keep going 10 more, just activating the Kundalini force. And then pause for a moment, come back to center, just rest your arms on your thighs. And with every exercise, you can, of course, do that for a longer period of time. You can just pause the video and continue. And just place your hands the other way around on your knees. And I recommend right shin in front. And from your navel, we're going to rotate in a clockwise direction. And we're just going to keep this very kind of center. So you're just engaging your core. Navel pulls you front, side, back, side, and you can do that more slowly. You keep your shoulders relaxed, your head centered. You can look at something in front of you. You can close your eyes. Just make sure that you're really engaging the core and moving from here. And then slowly coming back to center. And then just bring your hands back. Rub your feet against each other. And then bring the other shin in front. And we're going to rotate anti-clockwise. So we're moving the energy from Svadhisthana chakra, from the sacral area further up into the navel area, the lower back, the hips. And we will continue to move it further up as we go along. And you can do this more slowly if you wish. Just follow your natural pace. And then sit back. And for boat pose, just bring your feet up. And if this is hard for you, you can always just lift one leg at a time. Otherwise, lift both legs. And lift your arms. And we're going to do breath of fire here. So really pumping the belly. And then bring the feet down. And exhale and rest your forehead on your knee. Relaxing your shoulders. And we're going to do the same in Ardha Navasana, half boat pose. This might be very difficult. So you can either hold your legs, you can also bring one heel down and just bring one hand behind your head. It's also an option. Otherwise, we're just going to try to do between 10 and 20 breath of fire here. Stay with your focus. 5 more. Deep inhale. And then exhale. Just stretch out for a moment. Place your feet onto the mat. And then rub your hands together for a moment. And place them on your groins. And then feel the connection from the soles of your feet to your groin, to the throat, to the center of your forehead, back to the throat or thyroid, into the groin, and down to your feet. And then you can either come up over the side or roll a few times up and down, and then come on all fours. And we're going to transition quite smoothly from here. So tuck your toes under, bring your seat to your heels, stretching out, very long back. Inhale, round your back. And then exhale, come into downward facing dog. We do it one more time. Inhale, come onto the knees. Exhale, seat to the heels. Forehead on the ground, and look at the belly button, round back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your shoulders above your wrists. And exhale, back into downward facing dog. And we do it again. Inhale, shoulders above the wrist. If at any point it's too much for you, just pause in dog or child's pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then you just walk a little bit on the spot. Breathing deeply. You can shake out the head if you like. And then just move front. Just walk to the top of your mat. And then bring your hands to the sides of your shins, bend your knees, inhale, half forward bend, engaging your core, find a long neck. Yeah, so you just bring in the chin slightly, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward bend, engage the core, and you can bend the knees as much as you like. Exhale, fold forward, and without forcing. Yeah, so it can have intensity, but only in a way that it actually really works for you. If you need something more gentle, you do it slowly, you do it gently. So always listen to yourself. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale. And now we're going to release the arms. We're going to shake out the arms, the hands, the head, everything. Just shake it, shake it, shake everything out. Yeah, so Scorpio is also about releasing. So make sure you can release and you open the mouth and and then you slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Bring your arms up, but just keep your knees bent. So keep that connection to the ground. Very important for the nervous system. Exhale, hands in front of our heart. So we always ground through the feet and bring everything down. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward bend. You can jump, if you like, back into a plank position. Knees, chest, and chin, or if you like, you can do a chaturanga. Roll your shoulders back, and then really push the feet into the ground. Like go for small, or if you're more flexible and if it's fine for the back, higher cobra. But again, do not force. Exhale, place your forehead on the ground. And then you can choose, you can come up on all fours or in plank and back into downward facing dog. Move your hips from side to side, opening up the groins, finding some enjoyment here in the breath, in the movement. Come up on the toes, bend the knees, either jump or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, falling down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Inhale, come up. Bring your arms up. Greet the sun. Exhale, and we're going to fold forward, greet the earth. Inhale, half forward fold. So just bring your hands on the ground, step your left foot back for warrior two. So both heels in line, back toes facing a little bit inwards, and then come up into warrior two. So hips face side, and the right knee faces front, Look at your front middle finger and bring your left arm. Let's see if you are like pulling an imaginary arch here. Look at your middle finger and breathe deeply. And really feel solid through the feet, grounded from the perineum. Keep the focus at your middle finger, but with ease, without straining. Let your eyes breathe. And it's an open focus. You can also see the rest of the room. You can just keep that front thigh parallel to the ground. Enjoy your breath. A few more deep in and exhale. And inhale, open the back arm, bring it front. And then lift the back heel off the ground, step into downward facing dog. Come into plank position. Knees, chest, and chin. Or chaturanga. Inhale, small high cobra. One upward dog. And exhale with a long neck. Find your way back into downward facing dog. Feel your breath either in the pelvic area or in the navel area. Just below your navel, just below or behind your pubic bone. Then inhale, bring your left leg up. Exhale, bring it front for warrior two. Place both heels in on the same line and the back toes facing in slightly. So we're just going to come to the other side. You won't be able to see my front, but that's fine. So again, we're just going to look at the middle finger and we're going to pull an imaginary arch back. And we just keep the focus at our front middle finger. And breathe deeply, rooting down through our sitting bones, feet, and the perineum. And just enjoying, keeping that an open focus, clear but open. And then slowly open up the back arm, inhale. Exhale, bring it front, lift the back foot off the ground and step forward, coming into forward fold. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of a heart. And we're going to come into frog posture. So bring your toes out a little bit and just come into comfortable squat here. So we're going to do this 7 to 10 times. So we inhale, we bend. As we exhale, we straighten the legs and we keep connection with the hands on the ground. So if you can't straighten the legs all the way, just do it as far as you can. And then we bend again. And we're going to do it with a breath of fire. Yes, so that means active in and exhaling through the nose. Wonderful. And then you can come down again into your squat for a moment and breathe here. You can just come into a balance. If that doesn't work, just sit down and rest your hands on your thighs for a moment, breathing deeply. So really feel pulling up from your core, from your navel area, from your sacral chakra. Bringing breath to your adrenals and kidneys. Bring your hands onto the floor and then exhale. Come up and roll up one vertebra at a time. Bring your arms up on your inhale and exhale. And then come to the front of a mat last time. Inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half forward bend, and then we step back into a plank. So now you can choose. You can either have your toes like this. You can put the knees on the ground, or if you want more challenge, knees off the ground, and also you can be with the feet flat. So we're gonna inhale here, and then exhale. Oh, for me, it's easier this way. Inhale here, and then exhale. Gonna come into a high cobra. And then inhale here, bring the ribs in. And exhale into high cobra. If this is too much, you come into low cobra. That's fine. So bring the ribs in as you come up. Inhale here. And exhale into a cobra. Bring the ribs in. Inhale here. And exhale. If you need a rest, sit back in child's pose. Otherwise, 2 more. And one last one. And inhale, just bring the ribs in. Give them your back a moment. You can do like a cat-cow to release. And then sit back, and you can either sit on your heels, or if your knees are fine, you can sit between your calves, yeah? But only if your knees are good, otherwise just sit on your heels. And we're gonna interlace the fingers. Bring the index fingers together, interlace all the other fingers. Yeah, so Venus Mudra. And then on an inhale, we lift our buttocks off the ground, maybe 10 centimeters. So pull in the pelvic floor in and up. And exhale, we sit back down. 7 times. You can also do that just sitting on your heels. Again, no forcing. You can also place a pillow underneath you. I just demonstrate how it looks when you sit on your heels. Again, just pulling the buttocks off the heels and then sitting back down. Activating your core and your pelvic floor. 2 more times. Last time. Wonderful. And I'm just gonna sit back to one side. So my left knee is now flat. Put it a little bit like this so you can see that better. And you put the right foot onto the other side. If that is too much for your knees, you just release the left leg and straighten it out and just place the right foot on the other side. Yeah, so choose a variety and then just hug that front leg. So foot is on the ground, push your foot down, root down through your sitting bone. Come into an easy twist, Matsyendrasana. Breathing deeply. Again, just connecting to the core at the end of the exhale. And opening up on your inhale. And if you feel it's too much, you just do that very, very gently. And you just enjoy your breath. And you connect with the sun. Exhale, and we just change sides. So just bring That other leg on either. You straighten it out, or you bend the knee. So your sitting bones are on the ground, front foot is on the ground, knees pointing up, and hug the other side, hug the other leg. Inhale here, exhale, come back. And then we're just going to come into a comfortable straddle. You can sit on some pillows, yeah, whatever might work for you. If you can actually reach for your toes. Often that's not available to us. So we're going to inhale, come up. Exhale, to the left side. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the right side. Inhale, come up. And exhale, forward. We do that 4 more rounds. And again, with the idea of releasing on every exhale. Only go as far as it works for you. Don't force yourself. Respect your boundaries. Respect your body signals. Last round. And then come up. Gather your legs very gently. And we're going to lower ourselves onto the ground. So feet hip width distance, very gently rolling down. Keep the feet connected to the ground and move them closer to you. And if you can, grab your ankles. If not possible, just bring the feet, the hands onto the ground. And then we're going to inhale, raise the pelvis. So it's not a full bridge. It's just like grabbing the ankles and see if we can raise the pelvis. And then exhale, we bring it down 7 times. Again, you can bring attention to the chakra of your choice. Last one. And your feet as wide as the mat, knees resting against each other. And again, that downward facing triangle, just place your fingers onto the pelvic area. And breathe into the bowl of the pelvis. Closing your eyes, relaxing your jaw. And then just bring the knees in. And you can either come into simple twist both legs to the left, or you can, you can actually just wrap your left knee over the right one and then the left foot around the right lower calf. And you look at your right hand if you like. If that's too much for the back, just coming into simple twist, knees next to each other. Breathing deeply here. And the knees back to center, just changing the way you've interlaced. And the legs over to the other side. Again, if that's too much, just knees back to each other, next to each other. Simple truth. Bring the knees back to center. Squeeze them in. You can keep them wide or closer together as you wish. Just take a few deep and exhales. Just breathing in again into your kidneys and adrenaline. And then just lying down in Shavasana. So if you have more time, very conducive to stay here for longer. So maybe you want to set an alarm and switch off the video and just close the practice in your own way. Otherwise, we stay here for a brief period of time, releasing the breath and allowing ourselves to be carried by Mother. With every exhale, you let more and more tension dissipate into the earth underneath you. And you let your breath find a natural rhythm, teeth, tongue, jaw relax. Resting your consciousness for a few moments. And take a deep in and exhale. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch out. Place the feet onto the mat in front of you. Roll onto your favorite side into fetus posture. Or just find a different way of slowly coming up. Into comfortable seated posture, eyes closed, or just close your eyes again once you're up. And place one hand onto the belly, below the navel, one hand onto the center of your heart. And just feel the connection between your heart and your belly, your gut feeling and your emotional center. And think about something that you are thankful for today. And just feel that in your entire body, across each and every cell. And bring the hands together in front of our heart. And we close with 3 rounds of Om. Take a deep exhale. And for each Om, release whatever wants to be released for us to grow, to evolve at this point. And then bow your head to your heart. Remember your intention for this new moon lunar cycle in the sign of Scorpio. Thanks for practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you want to know more about what I offer, you can find me on my website at www.anyabaya.com. You'll find it here on the video in the show notes for more comprehensive ideas on astrology, the Astrology Hub, Christopher Renstrom, for the weekly astrology overview, or also Adam Summer, who has its own website, Host to Heaven, amazing podcast, a lot of writing on these subjects. And thank you. If you are interested in a session, personal session for astrology and yoga, please contact me, or for some energy boost, get in touch with me via the website or here on YouTube. I appreciate your feedback and comments and shares, and I'll see you next month, hopefully, for the new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.